Good stuff.
Has to do something while I'm, working away.
Yeah.
Cancelling shit left, right, and centre.
Good. I can hear myself. Okay, let's do this. Do you want to lead us back in, Cookie? He's not here. I'll do it. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. We finally have audio, so that means Cookie's finally fixed it. So when he gets back from tearing his hair out, he can give us the spiel. But lads, it's Lamar. I have here Chris and Lada and Chris and Cookie when he gets back.
Sup?
Hey. It's that time of year. It's that special time of year. It's that Lamar time of year, and we love it. We love to see it. If you haven't caught the pre-race action, the sport categories, endurance legends were beautiful. The road to Le Mans was frantic, and now we've just got the main race left over. But it has been a week, everyone. It has been a week. In terms of track action, and let's start from the fastest lap of the week. We might as well. The hyperpole lap set by Kamui Kobayashi, the fourth time in a row that Toyota has been on pole for the Le Mans 24 hours, and it was a 23.9 flat, or is what we got in hyperpole. That's a mega lap for a class that was expected to be at the 330s.
330 race pace, which I was thinking maybe 327, 326 quality. So it's 323.9 off the bat. It's Kamui Kobayashi. We know he can do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he just did it straight up. Great lap. Flawless.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen the lap yet. I have not had a chance to catch up on hyperpole at all. Guys, any sort of thoughts and opinions on that lap?
I'm sure that the engineers themselves were like, when ACO were announcing that the hypercars will be running like around 3 minutes and 30 seconds, they were like, you know what, I'm gonna beat that. I'm gonna beat that score.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, what about you? Are you still, or are you watching DTM still? Chris has decided that the weekend of the biggest motor race of the year is also the weekend that we need to be announcing DTM streams in the sub. Chris, I love you, but you're an idiot.
Well, I don't have necessarily nothing to say about the lap. I do want to bring out something that kind of peeved me in qualifying. I didn't think a single qualifying session was enough to decide the top 6 for hyperpole.
Yeah,
that was my biggest complaint of the weekend. I thought, like, if we had like an hour session for prototypes and an hour for GTs, like that might have been a good compromise. But I didn't think an hour session was enough. That's kind of what made me kind of mad, because then you had the free practice sessions, which they're all right, but I don't know.
You bring that up. I kind of agree with you, and I think more so doing it after one free practice session was a bit of a misstep.
Yeah, so let's delve into that. What did you think of the schedule for the weekend? We've gone back to a more expanded schedule compared to last year, which is everything was just crammed together. But yeah, we had a 3-hour practice session, then qualifying, and then more practice afterwards. Is that enough? Is that the right sort of plan?
Track time's fine. I think the amount of track time we got is fine. For us, and remember, it's still slightly condensed. We had the test day this week.
Yeah.
So I think bearing that in mind, the amount of time was fine, but rejigging the schedule a bit, so hyperpole maybe came on the same day as the qualifying session. So you had quali, hour break, hyperpole. Might be a way to go.
Yeah, that's certainly a consideration. I think the ACO wants some qualifying action on Wednesday to get people to watch on Wednesday. Cookie, are you there? Are you back, Austin?
Hello.
Yay! What about you? What did you think?
Specifically about pole?
About the scheduling of hyperpole.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the world seems to be rotating to the 30-minute, 45, whatever, 15, 20-minute sessions, F1, qualifying, that kind of thing. There's some weird part of me that kind of wants to do like the 2-lap flyer kind of deal at Le Mans and have them staged Yeah, at Le Mans. Because, I mean, look, we've got 4 FP free practices. We've got, like, I don't know, a decent amount of qualifying. You only have 30 minutes for hyperpole. And as we saw, you get red flags, and that basically takes, like, a third or a half of your time to actually set a lap in. I mean, I don't know. It would definitely make people be there for 2 to 3 hours. But granted, that's the thing. Would you want to do a qualifying thing where the entire thing's dragged out for that potentially long? Although, granted, it could probably be like an hour, a little over an hour, if they stage it correctly. But I don't know. Yeah, it's not crazy doing it for me. But I think too, obviously, in the next like 2 years, it's not going to really matter too much when it comes to being entertained, because we'll have enough entries, and I would assume the field's going to be insanely close when we start getting more people, OEMs in here, to really justify, I guess, having it and kind of getting that last second, drama to the flag to see who gets pole. So I don't know. I do kind of, the timing of it is a little meh, and obviously the red flag didn't help it. So
Yeah,
I like shaking things up. So
it definitely has been a shake-up from the old traditional sense. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I like it. I haven't had the chance to really go back and dissect it and dissect my feelings about it so far. But there was something sort of, romantic and nostalgic about having those 6 hours rather, where anyone could be setting a qualifying lap at any time. The Hyperbole certainly was exciting, but it kind of loses that little bit of romanticism. On the other hand, it does give us very much a brief glimpse of the absolute fastest that these cars can do, which we don't really get to see at all anymore, except for maybe qualifying other rounds. But at Le Mans, they don't really do that super duper 1 lap sort of thing. What about for the race though? LMH pace has looked significantly ahead of LMP2, significant enough that we don't think, or at least I don't think, the LMH cars are going to be battling with LMP2 cars, but not far away for them to be free of running without issues. So if they do have to bring one of those cars in, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Toyota has had problems throughout the season. Glickenhaus has had problems throughout the season and throughout the testing, and I haven't seen them
so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen them put together more than 5 laps on track at once, so that's a bit of an issue. So I'll pose it to you guys. Does Alpine have a realistic shot of winning?
Yes.
I do believe so. This car has been running for who knows how long. I mean, look at the history on it. I do believe that any of the mistakes that they make is kind of ironed out at this point, or either ironed out or has been compensated, patchworks basically. The only thing that they need to look for is pace right now.
Yeah, the Alpine has very close pace to the LMHs, but it does lose a little bit on fuel capacity. We've been seeing that the Alpines are going to be maybe 1 to 2 laps down on fuel, which Oliver Trovis worked out for us to be about a lap total by the end of the 24 hours. That's a big margin to bring back. That's 3 minutes 30 seconds that Alpine have to find on track.
But that's really easy to find if the other 4 cars have 10 minutes in the pits fixing issues that arise, which we've seen so far. All 4 cars have been struck with.
That's true. That's true.
And I think Alpine's the most Alpine, not Alpine. It's not a bloody ski resort. This is the most reliable of the 5 cars in the car. So I think it's got every chance.
Certainly does, and we've seen that it has been close enough to keep the Toyotas honest throughout the WEC season. Now, next question I have for you guys. We'll look at LMP2. If you're the reigning champions in LMP2, how are you feeling right about now? The number 22 car, the reigning champs for the race, missed the hyperpole because I think it was Felipe Albuquerque grabbed a bit of traffic on his flying lap, so he's qualified down the order. That is quite a way to recover, isn't it?
Well, yeah, if the race is only an hour long. But you're right, LMP2 is insanely tough in terms of the actual driver competition that they're going to be facing. So, that's going to be pretty... it's going to be difficult. It's potentially going to rain. and we know how crazy traffic can be, especially with LMH being definitely faster, but not blazingly fast. So I definitely think we're going to see some hairy moments and definitely some time loss areas where, I think we're going to see more LMP2 gaps potentially this year, just in between other cars. I know the last few years it's been very close, but yeah, I don't think it's as insurmountable as it potentially could be, but they're definitely in the thick of it and need to avoid early contact and troubles. So definitely they have a work cut out for them.
And we saw in warm-up today, all of the cars that had problems were LMP2 cars. There were a bunch that ran wide at Tertre Rouge. High-class racing were off at the Dunlop chicane and at the Mulsanne corner, I think it was. There was the WRT cars running into trouble. It does not fill you with confidence if you're one of those teams in LMP2 running into problems in the warm-up.
I just want to add, too, we have one non-starter. The IDEX Sport, number 17, is scratched due to an accident coming into the Dunlop chicane and just before the bridge. So, the prototype drivers are pushing it. I mean, Toyota's even advising their drivers to back it down a bit. Thursday was not a good day for Toyota in terms of off-tracks. They had some potential gremlin issue electrically that had something to do with going off-track. So, I mean, we definitely could see one of those accidents this year. I mean, it just seems like a lot of drivers are going real hell-bent for leather, trying to find any amount of speed possible, and that can potentially result in issues.
Yeah, and I think we saw that even the Road to Milan race before as well. The P3s were throwing themselves off the road at Tertre Rouge with abandon.
Yep, I would agree with that as well.
So there's absolutely hell to leather, and it's going to be chaos.
What about you, Lado? Who do you reckon is going to be the LMP2 team to watch throughout the first half or the last half of the race?
I actually wasn't following it too much, but I do believe that the United would be kind of close. I mean, I checked on the free practice. It seems like they're actually like the first people to break the 3 minutes 30-second benchmark. So who knows at this point? But I do believe that United might have a chance to win.
Absolutely. We'll pivot away from that conversation for a little bit, and guys, I have a question for you. What's the best looking car this year? All of them, again, look so goddamn pretty. And I want to just take all of them and turn them into 1 to 43 scale models and just have them all sitting on my wall.
Even the white Aston Martin?
Even the white Aston Martin. I like, fair play to them. It's a dumb choice for a car color if you've got a front engine car with the exhaust exiting behind the front wheels. But it does make the car look just that little bit more weathered every single lap it does. And by the end of that race, it's not going to be white, it's going to be two-toned. And I think that is going to look very, very nice.
Well, hold on. So now you're going to tell me that Porsche GT Pro's factory cars look good? You can tell me that too?
No, because they're not going to look as weathered because their exhaust exits out the back of the car.
Oh,
God.
All right. Honestly, I reckon the innovative car is one of the best looking.
The SRT41 car, you know what? I 100% agree. It reminds me, for those listening from Australia, the Stone Brothers Racing 2012 car, the SP Tools one with the orange highlights. That's the sort of vibe it's giving off. That combination of blue and orange is really jumping out at me. Any other ones, Kiwi?
The duck car.
The number 18 Absolute Racing, the underdogs.
Yeah, that's great. Someone in chat has said the Glickenhauses, but they look really boring to me.
They do look very LMH or LMP1. What about Lado? What do you reckon? You're a graphic design artist by trade, right? You certainly do all the graphics for us.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For me, I would actually, I would agree that that the 84 looks really sharpish, though. Let's see. I actually still like the Jumbo one still.
Jumbo
it has a soft spot on me. I don't know why. It shouts. It has the energy of Sky Active, like the Sky Active car that would actually showed loads of word of Sky Active on that. It's kind of had like a vibe, but really tasteful in the end.
Nice. That is a great call. Great call. By the way, if you're not following along, if you haven't got the Spotter's Guide up yet, you should definitely check that out at spotters.guide. We're using the unofficial Le Mans Spotter's Guide made by one of our subreddit members from Zombiel_444 or Groziak Matthias on Twitter. He's put together an Andy Blackmore inspired Spotter's Guide for the race, and it looks absolutely immaculate. So well done to Mateos, and yeah, make sure you get your hands on that and support subreddit members doing the work. Chris Washer, if you're not being distracted by DTM, favorite looking car on the Le Mans grid?
The SRT 41 car. I love the mixture of the blue and orange.
Yeah, that's a very popular car. Let's see if everyone likes it. Cookie, drum roll, please.
I hate it. No, I actually do. I don't mind it. But keeping with the meme, I'll go Dragon Speed USA for Flexbox Ding.
Oh my god.
Actually, with my favorite looking one, damn it, I don't want to say Porsche, but it's the 99 Proton Porsche. I do kind of like the weird angle edges with that, and then obviously with the orange, looks awesome. And I'm such a huge fan of teams like having a central theme and then just doing different colors, like Manti did way back when with their Porsches. So 99 is my vote for coolest looking livery, but my shout out to 21, even though Montoya will kill people.
He will. It looks terrifying. I absolutely agree with the 99. We've been used to seeing the Proton liveries in like really cool colors, like blues and grays, and like even last year they had that sort of aqua green, and the one year that they ran pink was just like, whoa, but that orange, that looks like fire.
It pops.
Yep. Shout out on number 82 as well. Quick shout out to number 82 as well for the Easter egg of actually giving out a model car of 1-1. It says over here on the Tamiya one, it says a 1-1 model.
That's great. That's great. I love it. I love it when when teams do stuff like that. Certainly a few art cars around as well. The JMW Motorsport have gone with a weird art car. I'm not sure what art they're trying to portray or what car they're trying to do. But that one technically counts. We've talked about the underdogs, the number 18 Absolute Racing. We call them that because the whole thing's covered in ducks. The hub auto car looks really, really nice as well. I like the little Brumos homage on the number 79 WeatherTech car, and that's the only positive thing you'll ever hear me say about the WeatherTech car, except for the fact that, Bam Thor's in it. What about the two very, very French cars, the Panis Racing number 65 and the which one's the matching one? The PR1 Motorsports.
Yeah, the 24.
Number 24, yeah. They were called the kitchen top cars. So the 24 has a sort of marble kitchen top coating on it. Not that it's made of marble, but it just looks like it's got that sort of marble finish on it. And then the number 65 has that similar sort of wooden bench top look to it. What do we think of those?
They look very interesting. And I also love the fact that 65 has got a sponsor from a car dealership I walked into a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Ringwood Mazda.
Look, they're taking their business to new heights. So why not advertise at Le Mans?
Wow, what a weird place to see it. Okay, yeah, right on.
I'm guessing that's because of James Allen.
Yeah, almost certainly. I hope he does well this year. He was one of the breakout drivers from last year and was on for a top 3 until he put it in the wall at Porsche Curves. Whoops. Speaking of whoops, imagine, if you will, you are a GTE Pro factory team and you come to Hyperpole and either you A, put your car in the wall, which was what the number 92 did, and it's probably the only mistake Kevin S has made all year, or B, you compete for the full Hyperpole session and end up with the privateer team taking pole position in GTE Pro. What a story that is.
That's a great... Hub Auto Racing, that's fantastic from them. Dries Central was driving it, and we know how good he is proven to be. And that's why I've been memeing in the chat. He's now better than Lawrence.
Okay, so this is the conversation I wanted to have. Dries versus Lawrence, guys. Who's the better driver now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Dries. I mean, it's so hard to say. Because look, you can have it where you start putting it together. I mean, we'll see if this lasts, but I definitely think Dries is driving better right now.
Let's get everyone in chat voting too.
Yeah, if you're in our live chat, we've currently got the 24-hour Le Mans General chat up on our YouTube channel at the moment. So if you want to quickly chuck votes in there, who is better, Dries or Vantor or Lawrence Vantor? I still think Lawrence is the better driver, but Dries is getting close. Dries is getting bloody close.
So he's catching up quick because he's, from what I remember, he's pulling more races than Lawrence this year. It seems to be he's been racing like every single weekend. He's doing ADAC GT, not to mention blank pan duties. Obviously, he's doing Le Mans. So he's pretty much racing out every week, where Lawrence he's doing IMSA.
And that's it, really.
Yeah. So I think Dries is I think they're even right now, but I think Dries is going to quickly catch up.
Okay, I'll pose another question to you then. Who wins the banter at the dinner table? Who's currently got the better accolades behind them? Because of course Dries has won Le Mans in class before. He's won it in GTM. He won it with JMW in 2016. Lawrence has a GTE Pro victory. Lawrence also has a SRO GT World Challenge victory and a Nürburgring 24-hour victory and a Spa 24-hour victory. But Dries has a Bathurst 12-hour and a overall SRO GT World Challenge Europe victory. Who do you reckon at the Vantor household? Who do you reckon's winning that battle?
Good Lawrence.
Lawrence still?
Yeah, I'll say Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence on paper is actually really good.
We've got Reptron saying in the chat after that qualifying, definitely Dries. You know what? If I could say, hey bro, you know how you didn't even make that hyperpole session that I won, that I've got the car on pole for. How does that feel? How's that feel? That would be. I think that's some pretty aggressive banter.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. I love the armchair speculation though on what that conversation would be at the dinner table though. It's good.
We've got Alex in the chat saying Dries also doesn't crash scooters, which is a great point.
That we know of.
Yeah. Scooter crashing, he definitely wins that argument for sure.
Go ahead.
Speaking of kin, what I know we had talked about it in on Endurance Chat for the prototypes. What is the collective's thought on the number 49 LMP2, the LMP2 Dane train, you could say? With the two Magnusons, I should say, and with Anders Fjordback. What are you guys thinking on that? Do you think they're going to actually have a shot at podium?
Well, they've certainly done better than the other high-class cars so far.
Yeah, by one spot in qualifying.
Well, I mean, they've also not had as many off-track excursions.
This is true. But what are they? 8th in the pro class, inverted commas.
Yeah, I think that's where they ended up with.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
honestly, it's gonna be tough for them.
Well, I mean, they're in the mix, right? They're in the top 10, and if you put together like United Autosports 3 cars, G Drive's 2 cars, Joda Sports 2 cars, WRT's 2 cars, to even be in that conversation in the top 10, that's still a good shout. We've got Norwegian Petrolhead saying that they're not even in the top 10. Well, okay, I backtrack on everything I just said.
19th in class.
19th in
I think
class.
Top 10 of the pros part of that, which doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they qualified P25 overall. So
wow. Okay.
20th.
I take back everything I said.
Yep. Yeah, they're terrible. This would be also a good comparison. Who do you think is going to be either going to be well, I guess you have to say going to be better driver? We'll say Kevin or Jan. It's hard to say, but I'm old enough to remember Jan when he was driving prototypes in ALMS and really taking it to the Audis. he was aggressive, and his son is ridiculously aggressive too. So it's kind of weird because I'd almost say that they're pretty similar in terms of like their skill set and just their talent level, how they go about it. Like, I mean, Jan definitely did not have as good of or long of a tenure in Formula One as Kevin did, but still, I like both of their driving styles, especially from what we've seen from Kevin in the last 6 months since he started driving DPIs at least, has been, I think, very similar to Jan's, I guess, talent level and driving style. It's been very interesting to see him kind of show his own, but also look eerily similar to his dad. So,
yeah, I think Kevin is going to be quicker, but Jan will just have this sort of coolness about him because he's been here, he's done it all before, right? Whereas this is going to be brand new for Kevin, so I think it'll be a bit of that sort of situation.
I don't think Kevin's aggressiveness is going to serve him well this race when he finds himself in a 10-car P2 battle, getting around traffic.
I would agree with that. And then so
He is
tires. I had a little note on the little clip notes cheat sheet that I have here for this to talk about tires. I don't think we really saw any reliability issues, and I know LMP2 that we should be able to see them go pretty far with their stints. I mean, I was hearing potentially like triple and quadruple stints. I don't know if that's specifically accurate, but I heard it was pretty tall order for that. So I think that will be an interesting thing to see if we see any teams that are going to try to do that, where they don't really push as hard and try to get more stints on these, especially with the prototypes, and especially with the hypercars. It should be interesting to note too how heavy they are, just to see kind of how those how they interact, especially with off tracks. And obviously, like, there's issues with that we see with Toyota when they went off track earlier this week. But I would say too, there's more potential for tire damage, punctures, I think. And obviously, like I said, I think this has been a pretty fast and loose week so far for some of these drivers. So I think there's going to be a lot of debris, a lot of potential for off tracks contact. So I think that might be something that we see often throughout the race too, is just long stints and punctures. Couple that with potential for weather, which I'm hearing at like 40%. So
well, in fact,
85%, and the
in
thunderstorm
fact,
warning.
I am currently in a chat room with some of the people at the track. That is some of the reporters at the track, because I'm doing some work for DSC this weekend as well. If you weren't aware, guys, I'm just
plug away.
You're
plug
a
away.
journalist.
Daily sports car. Right.
Yeah, well, it's it's right up on the stream there. Flo.
Yeah, it is.
You can see the logo there.
It's
That's. Did we also shout out the RacingLine app?
We have not shouted out the RacingLine app. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, the RacingLine app.
Yeah, well, I'm the one that always forgets. So this is a proud moment for me to actually remember that. So
I saw. I'm very proud of you, Cookie.
Ah.
Anyway,
apparently I push compliments. Go ahead.
Some of the other reporters at the track, if you've seen the names, Matt Fernandez, Matthew Lamont, and Martin Little, they are at the track riding for DSC, and they are saying that it is currently raining at the track. So, yeah. Wet tires are going to be a thing. We might even be starting under wet weather conditions. I was listening to Alan McNish earlier during the warm-up session, talking about that difficult moment when when you're on bad tires for the conditions, where the tire pressures are wrong or the track is changing quicker than your tires can change, and sometimes how that can really affect how the car behaves. And they were talking in context with the Glickenhaus drivers, saying that they haven't really gone for any young drivers, but they've gone for some very experienced heads, Ryan Briscoe, Olivier Pla, Pipo Durrani, drivers that have won some major endurance races, and saying that these guys have experience driving on bad equipment, effectively. Is that to say the Glickenhaus bad equipment? Well, who knows? But that's sort of a fascinating sort of thing to think about. If you can quadruple stint a tire, should you do it always, or should you bite the bullet, change tires to be on the better tire for the more appropriate period of the race? What do you guys reckon?
Well, I'm sticking to the theory that if you don't change drivers, no. So what am I saying? No, don't change tires if you're changing drivers. So
Yep.
I think that's the number one thing here. And like you talked about, if you're going to do quad stints, keeping the same driver in there who's able to keep a hold on those tires, someone like an Olivia Pla or someone like those long-term P1 drivers will be a benefit to like Jackson Evans.
Yeah. Speaking of Jackson Evans, Kiwi. There's a Kiwi in this race in GTM, a young up-and-coming Kiwi.
Jackson Evans, yes. I've been adopting him this week as part of the driver adoption program that you've been running. He's run he's run 17 laps at speed, or not even at speed. He's run 17 laps all practice so far.
Only 17?
Yeah.
Well, I say only 17, but 17 times 4 is like almost an hour.
Yeah. He FP1 went to Matt Campbell because he was qualifying.
Yep.
Then there was he in FP2 along with Christian Reed. Jackson Evans was in for FP3, but they got disrupted to hell. He only got one time lapping.
Wow.
So yeah, he's basically done 17 laps in FP4. That's him coming into the biggest race he's going to race in.
That's a pretty aggressive. He's gonna run more laps in the race than he's ever run.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's gonna do that because there's only 11 hours of practice. Doy.
But in general, like he wouldn't have had that much time in the car, and because he's the silver driver in the car alongside Christian Reed, he's going to have to do 7-8 hours.
Yeah, indeed.
I also want to shout out Julian Naunauer.
Yeah, all right.
Damn. I mean, that car's not going to win because he's got a 75-year-old to drive with, but he's been on fire so far this year.
And he backed that up with a win in the Road to Le Mans support race as well this morning. So really impressive from Andlauer. He was, of course, one of the Super Silvers for a while in the number 77, but he's graduated to a gold rated driver, and he's actually doing the business, which is what you want to see.
Absolutely, and just proofs of his gold rating.
Which other drivers have impressed you so far this weekend, guys? Cookie, have you been seen anyone of note?
I mean, Kobayashi's hyperpole lap is pretty stellar, spectacular. Whatever
That's
adjective
true.
when you used to say it, but adverb. But it's I would. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go with him. There hasn't been anything that really has stood out to me too much. Everybody's, it's almost just like who's kept their nose clean. That's who I'm gonna give the nod of, like a good show. But yeah, I that seems to be for me what this week has been so far. I've just seen a lot of off tracks, a lot of potential issues, and I think that is going to maybe come back into play for the race. Because again, a lot like I said, there has been so many that if all of that happened during a race, I mean, that's a crazy running order. So we haven't seen a lot of I would say entries really showcase like a perfect weekend so far. But if anybody has, Toyota's done very well for themselves, obviously with clearly how they did on pole. So yeah, I would probably just say Kobayashi at this point, and honestly probably the SRT 41 guys.
Yeah, they've kept their noses clean entirely.
Yeah, they really haven't had any issues at all. So,
and I'd also throw into that mix the Keating car. The fact that did they make Hyperpole? So I know it was the three Porsches. It was the 88, the number 56, and there was another Porsche that were 1, 2, 3.
The Keating car did make Hyperpole.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was the Keating car and also the Settler Ferrari. You got to say the Keating car making Hyperpole, staying out of trouble. Haven't really heard anything about them otherwise. That's the sort of run-in that you want.
And Settler, you mentioned them too. I mean,
yeah,
it's I think we talked about it too before. Like their transition from LMP2 to GTE, it's been flawless, seamless. I mean, yeah, it's been fantastic.
Now, What about some of the teams and drivers that haven't had so much of a flawless weekend? You made mention of a Cookie. There's been a lot of scrappy incidents and a few big repair jobs. So not only we've lost the IDEX Sport car, we already talked about that. Not only did they crash that car in practice, but they also were hit by another car on the test day, which necessitated a chassis change. And I think it was Kyle Tilley, the owner of that car, had a shoulder injury as well in the lead up. So they basically got to the end of the end of the free practice and went, you know what? Nah, not for us. So they pulled out. We've had rebuilds for the number 92 car, which was rebuilt around an entirely new chassis after the Hyperpole incident. Also, the Inception Racing Ferrari had to be completely rebuilt after their incident. High Class have had wheel hub dramas. WRT this morning have had a few dramas. There's been one or two cars in the wars. It doesn't really bode well for those particular teams. Is this the most sort of frantic Le Mans lead-in that we've seen for a little while? Certainly not the most ever, because 1999 exists.
Didn't the IDEC 48 also have issues?
Yes, that got hit by Guido van der Garde at Mulsanne Corner. That was right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's the second year in a row as well that IDEC have just been both cars in practice.
Yeah.
Why upset the apple cart at this point?
Yeah.
It is tradition.
Yeah, well, it has been.
And we've seen United off the pace, and WRT had issues in warm-up with Robert Kubica trying to go rallycross through Tech Rouge.
I'm trying to think, guys. Last year, even after the extended period of lockdown and the later Le Mans, there wasn't too much incident and accident in the practice sessions, were there?
No.
Relatively clean.
Relatively. I mean, there are some accidents, but yes.
Yeah. There was that weird accident a few years ago between the Toyota of Mike Conway and, was it the LMP2 car of Roberto Gonzalez, where they got turned around at the Ford chicanes, and then the LMP then Conway was just basically on top of it. Was that last year, or was that the year before?
I think that might have been the year before, but I could definitely be wrong. I mean, we've seen a lot of offs. I mean, Toyota had an off. We also saw like some kind of lapses in the pits as well. LMP2 coming out with the right rear that pretty much fell off the car and it stopped at Dunlop. So
Was that high class?
That was high class.
That was high class. Yes. So the
not very
Ricard
classy
Millie,
from them.
So I think there's been a lot of incidences, but they've all seemed to be isolated to a number of teams who are doing a number of things wrong.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm coming from too, is that there seems to be a lot of it this year, and to have every single team that has had an issue this week and weekend so far fix all of their glitches and not have any issues for 24 hours straight. I mean, I don't want to say it's a tall order because this is a talented field, but I mean, I think that's just asking for a team to still have a hiccup or two, especially if some of them haven't had a full weekend to get prepared like they might have, or if they're just new and need the time. So, I mean, we could come back in a little bit over 24 hours and say, hey, look, everybody had no incidents. Like everybody's on the lead lap or something. So, but at the same time, that would be insane. But I just think the way that the Le Mans has happened so far with all the free practices and qualifying leads me to believe that there's definitely going to be some attrition that has not a whole lot to do mechanical wise, because a lot of the field has just bulletproof flat out engines. So I think there's just going to be a lot of potential incidents or just slight issues here or there that could start dropping entries off in the running order. So
I wonder how much of an effect do you reckon the extra weight and the reduced power will have on the componentry in the LMP2 cars, specifically like the suspension and the tires and the whole sort of handling package. That's because it's not going to be as comfortable as it's been in the past. They're still going pretty quick, but do you reckon having that extra weight will mean more problems over the curbs, more problems in the suspension, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I would say so because it's new for relatively new for certain drivers, amateur or pro. I mean, we even saw Toyota with pretty heavy GR010 really get a huge tank slapper, and I mean, I guess it could happen with even the LMP1Hs, but something to me feels like it's there's a little bit more of the weight that can be distributed, that basically can upset the apple cart. And especially with LMP2, with how many M drivers that are in there, I would definitely say that you could definitely see a lot more off tracks. And I think that, again, that's where I think there's a lot of, like where Toyota's coming from, just don't go 110%. We don't need you to go 110%. And I think they can afford that in LMH. LMP2 is another question. So a lot of them are going to have to go flat out for Pro-Am and Pro. And yeah, I mean, I that's what I'm saying. I definitely think we're going to see incidents. So, especially if we have rain, which we apparently have.
Apparently have. By the way, guys, we have the 2021 Le Mans race discussion thread that's been posted now. Woo! Remember Reddit? Remember that thing that everyone that our community's built around and everyone should continue to use because I put so much work putting the threads together with all the information that you need and all the questions.
For compliments again.
Already answered. I just wish people actually use the threads.
I can mute him.
Well, I mean, that's why we've got the stream this year, which will not be taken down because I will not post things that have potential copyright on them. So yeah, we'll have updates that will have like 1 minute refreshes on the main thread. So you can see people's comments there. And then we also have the Discord channel, as you guys can see on the stream. That's with the 24-hour Le Mans general chat. We also have the entry list. Go ahead, Flood.
By the way, that chat is about to get locked because we're going to go move to our triple chat format. So if you're watching, you're going to have to pick a role in the Le Mans Welcome channel and jump into either fast chat, regular chat, or quiet chat for the race.
And follow the guidelines. Follow the guidelines that I've made. Please look at them.
They're brilliant actually. I wonder. You might have to send me that, and I'll throw it up on the stream too, just somewhere in the corner, maybe. I don't know. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah, we've got a bunch of, like everybody's got a bunch of monitors, and post your battle station picks on our WC and Discord channels appropriately. But everybody's got a bunch of monitors or extra TVs or extra laptops. I mean, myself included. So why not have some live updates? We'll have the voice chat as well. That'll be up on there. So you kind of get some live reactions, a little bit of discussion that you can see on there. And then we also have our entry list Marker of Doom section. So famously, the Marker of Doom is any entry that is not classified or is out of the race at any point throughout the 24 hours of Le Mans. We put a nice little marker right through it. So you kind of get an update list of who's out of the race with that as well. So yeah, I don't know, just trying to offer some extra content for you guys, and why not have an extra screen and maybe an extra comms of people commentating on the race, but why not?
If you want to listen to people talking who don't really know what they're talking about,
you're in the right place.
Yep.
I mean, it seems like that's more and more of a thing now. So I mean, why not? We'll lean into it.
Well,
we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Speaking of people talking, we do have an update. If you guys are watching on Eurosport, unfortunately, Tom Gaymore is going to miss the entire broadcast. He has suspected acute appendicitis. So he will be out of the Eurosport broadcast. And also, according to one of our people at the track, it's medium heavy for rain at the moment.
Ooh, that's going to be tasty. That's going to be tasty.
That's going to be a wet start then, unless it immediately passes and dries out. I mean, now we're looking at definitely a damp start.
Well, according to Google, rain's hanging around till 5.
It's predicted that the rain will continue maybe for an hour.
I looked it off on Google.
Yeah. Just quickly, just for RPG, who's said in our podcast discussion channel, I'm going to do this to you. You've asked for this. Tasty.
God damn it!
Where's that mute button again?
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's have a look ahead, guys, because while the race is this weekend, there was the press conference on Friday, which should have seen Alpine and or Cadillac announcing their freaking programs for future seasons, but neither did that, did they? Stupid dicks. We want to know what's happening.
Well, I mean, Cadillac will happen. It's whether or not Alpine does. And
To be fair, announcing a program in 2021 is a really dumb idea right now.
Why is that?
not if you're a car manufacturer. I mean, like, granted, yeah, we gotta, there's a push to get to EV and hydrogen, but like, especially in the American market, they are selling insane amounts of cars. So
maybe that's just me being jaded from spending 18 months canceling things, but
yes.
it's really hard to plan for anything at the moment in most parts of the world. So I can understand why things are being delayed, why things aren't being announced straight away. Get your ducks in a row first.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've seen Cadillac do this before. I think, the Cadillac DPI was like the worst kept secret for a long period of time because it was just like, we know what's going to happen. We've seen that it's going to happen. But they like announced it in November and then we're racing it in January. So I think that's just a Cadillac thing. As far as Alpine, like, they have such a big presence at Le Mans. Like, at the moment, they've had the F1 car on track. They've had their old, some of their old Le Mans cars on track. They've had an A110 on track. Everyone's getting involved. But like, but like, why put in all that effort and then just not do it? It's giving me bluer balls than their cars, man.
I mean, but the thing is, we're all talking about it. So, I mean, it's a Signatech pretty much led operation right now. I mean, they do have ears with the boardroom at Renault and Alpine, Renault specifically. But, I mean, I would love to know, which I will never know, but how much Alpine have actually spent with this sponsorship deal with Signatech, and like how much extra they've had to spend maybe with Hypercar. I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit, but like, just to do a demo lap and to feign a little bit of interest because your name is on a sponsorship with a team that bought a grandfathered in LMP1, like, it's kind of like free real estate,
Yeah.
But that's where I feel like it's at. I mean, if I was with Renault, I'd be like, I mean, yeah, we'll take a little bit of time to figure this out. I mean, I know with F1's cost cutting coming into play, that could be something that they pivot to. But until now, I mean, like, not to say that I don't expect them to come, but the level of interest that I've seen from them is not, like, it's not there yet. So I would say it's like less than Aston Martin's interest at this point, and that had nothing to do with them ultimately not being there. Well, no, I think Aston Martin were way more, like, we're coming, we're gonna do it, and like Alpine's just kind of like, we might. I mean, we're here, so we might, we'll let you know, kind of thing. So, do I see them coming? I think so, but I would say it's like 2024, 25, and maybe that would happen maybe with an extra Renault pivot from their production and consumer grade stuff. So maybe more EV stuff that they have announced or hydrogen they're going to pivot to, and then we'll see that maybe a lot more interest engaged with Hypercar. But again, the convergence and the ability to go to LMDH, it's cheap enough. And I mean, if they are cutting back with F1 cost cutting, it would be a perfect sidestep for them to have two programs like that. So,
well, let's not forget 100 years of Le Mans is what, 2023?
Yes.
Pretty good year to be a French car manufacturer coming into the race.
Yeah, and somebody made this mention also somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but from a wrinkle perspective, that everybody has their own opinions on the ACO and the French, but you would definitely find a few conspiracy theorists in the endurance world that would say that Peugeot and the like, because they're French, get a little bit of an extra nudge when it comes to different stuff. And then obviously with the BOP games that we're going to see, that I'm sure that conversation will happen. The fact that if we could get another French manufacturer in here, we would probably see like the best argument for equalized BOP out of everybody, because it wouldn't be in the ACO's best interest to to quote unquote favor, if that's indeed what they're doing. I don't think so, but yeah, it's just something else to think about too. To have two French manufacturers competing in this French Classic would be pretty unprecedented, I think.
Absolutely. When was the last time we saw two French manufacturers, or French teams rather, at Le Mans in the top class?
And random French team. Probably.
I mean, Peugeot was a random French team.
No, they Matt Moot was, Oreca's was probably with Pescarolo. I would say probably the Pescarolo years.
Yeah. What about the 2022 calendar, guys? That got released as well over the weekend. I think it's
Kayami, we riot.
yeah, I know, right? That's
Whoa,
pretty
God!
sad.
Oh God! Oh God!
But-
God! Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it like that. That was bad. I didn't realize
Oh,
what I
you go
said.
sit in the corner.
Okay.
What about Sebring having the prologue? How does that make you
Ooh.
feel?
Sebring having a prologue, that will be really interesting for the suspensions testing, I guess.
Do we know when that is? Is that right before?
On the
Like the
12th,
weekend
13th
before
of
Sebring.
March.
It's gonna be a week before the 12-hour weekend. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
looks like I'm gonna go watch that.
And I
yep.
imagine Chris will be with you.
you can be our reporter at the track, Cookie. Breaking
Yeah. Oh.
endurance chat. Breaking news.
Yeah. I'll have
On
an
the
earpiece
field.
in, and I'll have like a whole I don't know, mic thing set up. We'll have to have like a what is that? The
Dude, pure
yeah.
sounds videos. My God, don't get me too excited. Don't get me. Oh.
But don't
I got
get
a
Cody.
bunch. I mean, if you guys want like a compilation of like hours upon hours of natural sounds of cars going around Sebring, I mean, I've got like a whole mess of them for like the last 5-6 years. So
Oh my God.
yeah.
That might be the only positive of the Sebring track.
Wow. Wow, we're doing this again.
Wow.
We're doing
Okay,
this.
we're gonna skip that. We're
Okay.
gonna skip
Yeah,
that.
flood.
So we go from Sebring, and then we go to Spa, and then we go to Le Mans, and then we go to Monza, and then we go to Bahrain, we go to Fuji. So we already said Kyalami is missing. What else is missing from that? What else would you like to see on the calendar that isn't there yet?
Road America.
Nah.
Sensibly.
Yes. Oh. Well,
Yeah, fair.
okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Sensibly, Australia for sure. I
Bend.
think there should be another. There should be another corner of the world hit, and it should be in Australia somewhere. I feel like that's. What?
He's gonna Queensland Raceway.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I feel like that side of the globe has a desperate need for endurance racing, and we haven't seen it yet. So, but yeah, I'll throw my head in for Road America too.
Like, well, Flood, you'll agree with this. The Bend, Asian Le Mans series, was an amazing event.
It was a very, very good event. I think it showed the track very, very well. I think it showed that it make good racing. I think it shows that the haters know nothing just because they can't figure out what corner it is. I mean, to be fair, I can't figure it out. Anyway.
I just hope by the time it gets down here, I can actually cross the border.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Actually, no, you can stay over there. That's fine. That's the dream. If there's an ACO event, another ACO event, a WEC event that happens in effectively my backyard, that's the dream. I would love that. I was thinking, like, we've seen bits and pieces about Silverstone not being on there, and that kind of shafts a lot of the UK audience and fan base, and teams for that matter. What do we think about that?
Fine with it.
You're fine with it? Okay, wow, okay. Jeez.
I
Kiwi hates UK people in breaking news.
Well, yeah, they also can't play rugby. But the reason I'm fine, the reason I'm fine with it is, well, for next year anyway, because 6 rounds, I honestly think, is almost perfect for the WEC.
I think it's a little lean. I'd love to see 7. I'd love to see 8. I think 8 would be the ideal number.
I think right now in this environment, I do believe that playing conservatively, like picking conservatively, would be the best option. They're trying to put all the decks, all the stacks, all the money onto the 2023 season because they know everyone's watching it, or we all waiting for the 2023 season. So they might as well just be lean on 2022 and just pick up some money instead.
Yeah, the question I'll pose is, okay, you want a Silverstone. Which one of those are you taking out? And silence says it all.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Shut up.
I have one good point of podcast. That was it.
That was it. Yeah. Okay, you're done now. You're done. It's all over.
yeah.
Bye.
Just leave. Oh man. Yeah, I think people will definitely want to have seen some change, or at least like an addition to the calendar. But the way that we're still recovering from the pandemic and all that stuff, I just feel like we're not quite there yet. And then obviously with the UK and a lot of the lot of the import stuff and just how much steps and processes are involved in actually getting stuff over there. I think that was one of the reasons why Silverstone wasn't on the calendar as well. So, it's definitely a bummer, especially if that's the reason. But I also heard that Silverstone was asking a lot of money as well. But,
yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason that every international series that isn't called Formula One has yoked.
Which is crazy to me. I mean, because I think their theory behind their intention was that they're trying to do track upgrades or they're trying to do facility upgrades again. Just like they did a huge facility upgrade with that, but and that's for the reason for the increased rates. But I think it's a combination of that where I think they would have definitely still had interest from some of these series and organizations, but coupling that with the added cost now to get to Britain in the first place and come back, I think that's also factoring in why we're not seeing a UK round here, which is kind of, it's awful because this is there's a huge amount of motorsports fans that are the UK contingency, especially for Le Mans. So, unfortunate to not see any UK round on the calendar.
A question that's come from the live chat: what about Portimao? Why isn't Portimao returning?
Again, for what?
Any of the above?
I think it's a fantastic race and a good track, but it's not in the right spot for a World Endurance Championship yet. I mean, maybe down the road for when we get in the LMDH hypercar and and we have a ton of insane interest that would justify an extra maybe 2-3 rounds, then maybe we could, then I could definitely see it getting added. But I think there's too many good tracks around the world that WEC can easily eat the cost for shipping and travel to get those cars out there instead of Portimao, that I think that it's probably not likely.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start thinking about wrapping up. We've got DSC GG Graham Goodwin in our Discord server saying it is absolutely hammering it down at the moment. So it's been a beautiful, glorious weekend so far, but it is going to be very, very rainy when we get our stream up in about 4 minutes time, guys. 4 minutes time until the official live stream, and so that means it is time for our predictions, and we always love this because we always do terribly. So if you're joining us for the first time, firstly, welcome. Secondly, this is about to go very, very poorly, guys. Who's gonna win in LMH?
You know what?
Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Who's gonna win overall?
It's got to be the one with the yellow, the one with the red one, isn't it?
The one with the red on it.
So what? Team WRT?
Shut up.
Good. Yes. Chaos. He votes Chaos. All right. So Chris is down for Chaos.
No,
I'm gonna go with the number 7.
Honestly, I was gonna say the 36.
36?
Alpine.
Alpine. You reckon Alpine? Yeah. That would be chaotic.
Toyota just hasn't quite convinced me with their reliability. I know that's a really weird thing to say, but I just got a doubt.
Okay, what about the Glickenhouses? No chance?
Or same boat.
No.
Unconvinced?
No, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I agree. I
mean, good show, and they should finish, and I hope them well. But I just the 36 is too comfortable, and the 7 and 8 have too much experience and pace.
Well, given that both Glickenhouses are in my hot sauce thing.
Oh no.
I kind of want them both to finish.
Okay, so Kiwi, provide a bit of context here, please.
So I've been allocated 10 cars, and for each car that doesn't finish, I have to elevate sort of like a level of hot sauce from Sweet Chili all the way up to Carolina Reaper.
Oh,
so
no.
what are the 10 cars that you've got, by the way?
So we've got the 7.
Yeah, so the number 7 Toyota.
The 708 and 709.
The pair of Glickenhouses, yeah.
Then
The pair of Glickenhausen, because we've decided that's the official plural.
The 51, the 55.
So the 51 AF Corsa Ferrari and the 55 Spirit of Race Ferrari.
The 74, 77, and 79. So that's
74 is the Eurasia Racing Team India.
Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate it.
77 is the Dempsey Proton Racing Porsche, and the 79, did you say?
79, yeah.
There isn't a 70. Oh, the WeatherTech Racing Porsche. That was
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble for that.
You are in trouble for that. And then I've also got the 99 Proton Racing car, as well as the 777D station. So I reckon I'm looking at maybe a solid 5 or 6 here.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge for you.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Which, if that comes true, a 6 would be a habanero hot sauce.
It's not too bad.
It's not great.
That's true. Okay, so what about LMP2, guys? Who wins LMP2? Is it going to be United, or is it going to be G-Drive, or is it going to be Joda, or is it going to be WRT, or is it going to be Racing Team Netherlands?
I'm gonna be Netherlands.
Ah, yes, love it.
This banner will literally come up from the car, kill God, and win Le Mans.
Please.
Brilliant.
That's the pick.
That's your pick? Kill God Death?
I'm actually gonna say the 65.
Ooh. Panis Racing.
Yeah.
65. Wait, hold on a second. That's a McDonald's car, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have a Joda Sport which has a KFC, so this is the first time we have a McDonald's versus KFC debate.
Oh my god, this is the best day ever.
Maybe I should make my bet. Whatever one finishes higher, I'll eat 10 cheeseburgers or 10 zinger burgers.
Mate, I'm into it. Cookie, what about you? LMP2? Cookie? Oh, he's dead. GTE Pro.
GT Pro. There's actually a boost, a buff on Corvette. So I already picked the Corvette already. So I just will be a Corvette. I'm gonna pick the Jordan Taylor 63.
You, Kiwi?
We're live, by the way, officially.
Yes, we are. So we're gonna wrap this up quickly.
I'm gonna say the 72. So I'm
72?
gonna hold on.
72.
Hub Auto, wow, that's bold. I reckon it's gonna be the 51 actually. As much as I love Porsche and I'm wearing my Porsche shirt, I think the 51's just got overall better consistency. Cookie, thoughts and opinions, or are you still dead?
I'm dead, but I'm gonna go 51.
51? Great.
Live.
Great minds think alike. GTM, let's go, quick!
Who the hell knows?
33 TF Sport, go.
Keating? Yeah, I'm into it. Kiwi?
77.
77. Chris?
77.
77. I think that's good. I reckon the number 83 is still broken. Guys, that's the entry list. No, that's our pre-race show. Everyone, make sure you jump into the live channels. They're all going to get closed up and fixed up soon. Make sure if you're watching, if you're with us in the Discord, that you use the yearbook as well. Thank you very much to the RacingLine.app for sponsoring us. Thank you very much for listening, and let's have a bloody awesome weekend. I've been Michael Zalavari on behalf of the Endurance Chat crew. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yazoo!
Bye.
Yazoo! All right.
Fuck, let's fix these channels.
We're wrapping it up, and yeah, we're gonna get the channels fixed, and then join us all in the regular voice chat, as well as this upcoming live stream. We'll have this on YouTube, and it'll run all the way through the whole 24 hours, flag to flag. And yeah, got an extra screen, why not? We'll have, if I can find any other resource that won't get me copyright infringement strikes, I will do so. So let me know if I can provide any other info for you guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream.
All right.
What's so Flood? Are you still there? Just FYI,